Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. It is Dreaded D, the infamous pirate captain protecting T-Fuel Island. Today we're going to be discussing that OG Theta and discussing the path forward and the new developments that we're seeing and how they kind of set the stage going into Q4. Just remember, none of this is financial advice. Please do your own research. This is merely just my opinion. Alrighty, let's get into this thing. First off the bat, we're going to be discussing a little bit of what we touched on last time. If you haven't viewed that video yet, I'll link the video in the description below, all right? Basically, with NFTs and what Theta's been doing, I've really enjoyed how they've set up their process. So with Theta.tv was an extension where they could show companies basically, hey, look at this. We can offload this amount of bandwidth on a live stream, and it's a working product. Bring that into a meeting, and that really gives confidence to a potential client going forward. So the same with the NFTs. The NFTs, show them the monetization that World Poker Tour has done. Show them the monetization that one of these YouTube stars has done. The ThetaZilla tokens, all these things to show revenue of potential for an organization or a broadcasting company to use. And now we've seen with Theta.tv doing Theta's Got Talent as another example for them to bring to a studio. And maybe an extension to show them how you can bring viewership back to live TV shows like America's Got Talent, American Idol, and really engage the audience even more so. We saw this with American Idol where you could call in and vote and all that. This is that next step. This is that next step to bring that audience even further in, to have a piece of the show, give them something along the ride as they're viewing. So live TV has struggled with Hulu and Netflix coming aboard. So these are the kinds of things that live TV is definitely looking at. And we definitely know this because SNL did a whole skit about NFTs and with Pete Davidson. If you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty funny. But that should be a tell to you that these broadcasting companies are taking it very seriously, because they made a whole skit just to explain NFTs to viewers, to a whole viewership that don't even understand what NFTs are. And to me, that speaks volumes, because they're preparing the masses' mindset to set them up for this new world or this new era where NFTs are going to be utilized for live TV events. And that's significant for Theta, because Theta is very tied into a lot of these broadcast communication companies, whether it's MGM with the movie nights, now we got the Warner Brothers guy, the artist, doing the Secret Society Pineapple NFTs. So there's a lot of factors all at play, and Theta's kind of just in the mix amongst all this. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they utilize that and to what extent. Before we talk about the Theta Video API and the significance of what they're doing with that and enabling the Edge network, let's just talk about video in general for a second there, and live stream video. Live stream video is going to be making up about 17% in 2022 of all video traffic projected. Live stream video is growing in significance upon platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and we're seeing that significance especially in the fact that TikTok has overrun all these other platforms. If you go on Snapchat, if you go on Instagram, if you go on YouTube, and you look at YouTube Shorts, they've created their own copies of what TikTok has created, because it's such a dopamine producing business model or platform. And if you go through any of those videos on any of those platforms, the majority of those videos are just videos from TikTok that have been ported over. So that shows you the significance of those video content in those little snippets. And to go along with that, what does it show us? It shows us that the switching costs between one video platform to another video platform, the friction is very, very minimal. People are able to upload and share videos across multiple platforms, and that means the switching cost is very low. So if centralization does become a problem, Theta is there, ready, lying in wait, once they've enabled everything and we move into 2022, to be a major disruptor to the current infrastructure of networks. And that's very, very significant. So let's talk about Theta Video API and what this means going forward. This is finally the service that we've been waiting for to tie in this whole Theta network together, basically. It allows clarity on why we're running edge nodes and what kind of jobs we can expect going forward. And starting with video on demand is an interesting choice, considering that we've been doing live stream, but video on demand is going to be very significant. A lot of content's live, a lot of content is static. So to enable these and test these things out is going to be great going into 2022, as well as creating a way for people to post video content and create new video delivery mechanisms that are outside of YouTube. That's what's very significant. I'm sure we're going to see a slew of D-apps that are going to be built on Theta in coming hackathons in 2022 that may be, video platforms. And those video platforms are going to basically do what YouTube does but better. Or we'll see YouTube create a secondary video platform like YouTube Global. Or, basically the mandala of the Binance, if you know what I'm saying. The cloud, the providing cloud resources from main YouTube, and then enabling Theta, and then it's not YouTube, and it's a fully decentralized version of YouTube that's just an extension, but is outside of the scope of YouTube. Something like that. That could be very, very significant. And in that same sense, it solves YouTube's issue or a transition into that, and it keeps them out of the regulatory purview. Because if the whole network, everything that's built on is decentralized, they're not the ones they would go after. Just like how Theta views them building decentralized video, they are just the builders of a foundational product. They are not the ones that are posting poor or bad content on the actual software. That is up to the users, and creating protocols like that is great in the sense that it allows freedom, but it can allow for some bad stuff to get through as well too. So we'll have to see how that all plays out and how the regulators view it. Who knows? We may see Theta in Congress talking to our leaders and them trying to understand the complexities at which they barely even understand the complexities of today. To go along with the fact that they are utilizing video on demand to start before doing live streaming on the Theta Video API, we'll look at things like Netflix as potentials, or video platforms like Netflix, I'll say. There is no Netflix partnership confirmed. I'm just using that as an example. But, right now, Netflix is being forced in court between telecom companies and ISPs for excessive bandwidth usage. So not only are the ISP providers fighting back against platforms like Netflix that utilize excessive amounts of bandwidth, they are now looking for monetary reparations on top of the fees that they already claim. So they're basically trying to double dip. But this is a problem I foresee going forward, is that at what point in the growth of the Theta network does the ISP come in and say, hey, I want my cut? Or saying, if you're running an edge network on your home internet, you're going to be paying a percentage to the ISP or something along those lines. The ISP is still in the way. Let's be very honest in that sense. And we see this currently today with today's ISP infrastructure. If you are torrenting, the ISP in some cases, and I've seen friends and other people where they're torrenting or downloading movies or whatever, doing nefarious things that they shouldn't be doing, and the ISP is monitoring that for excessive bandwidth uploading and downloading. So when that happens, who's to say they couldn't do that as well or create identifiers for people running edge nodes? Just a thought. But it is a problem that could be solved via partnerships with something like Helium, with Freedom Fi, the hotspots, creating a decentralized network, or Theta just getting so big they bypass a ISP all on its own, or a plan working with Starlink to bypass, and Theta being the ground level. There's multiple paths forward. I'm just saying that this is a potential stopping point or issue that could come about in the future to watch out for. Along the way in my researching process, I happened to stumble upon this in the bottom of the TechCrunch article about the Netflix issues with SK Broadband, and I'll post the link in the description as well so that you can check as well. I found this little statement there tucked at the bottom. I'll read it back. Meanwhile, another global streaming giant, Disney Plus, is set to launch in South Korea in November. Disney Plus reportedly plans to use a third-party content delivery network, CDNs, instead of using ISPs networks to avoid the bandwidth usage fee. So that sparked a little thought in my mind. And as I dug further, I found that LGU Plus, KT, and SK Broadband are the top 3 ISP providers in Korea. And being so, LGU Plus has been the most aggressive for the Disney Plus deal. And the comments by LGU Plus CEO, he believed LG was in an advantageous position over other domestic ISPs in winning a content deal from Disney Plus. So I thought back to myself and I said, LGU Plus, who's that connected to? What do I know that name from? And then I remember Mr. Kang Hoon Won. And please forgive me, sir, if I've butchered your name terribly. But I remembered this from the Medium, and I said, maybe there's something going on here at the end of the year. We're seeing this launch with Theta Video API. Obviously, I'm just speculating, but there's all these little ties that are coming into play, especially with the ISP now coming after the OTT platforms. So these are potential solutions that Theta can provide or help enable, especially if LGU Plus is a ISP themselves. So now you have an ISP leveraging the abilities of Theta, and that's huge. That is what we've been trying to see over here in America, but it looks like it's going to be happening over in Korea from what I've been reading. So, and if we read through that Medium article and just go to this quote here, with the explosive growth of online streaming and OTT platforms, the burden of network costs on operators is increasing rapidly while content consumption by customers is exploding, said Mr. Kang Hoon Won. In my view, Theta's cutting-edge blockchain innovation combined with a decentralized peer-to-peer network technology will transform online streaming, OTT, and video businesses. I am excited to help expand Theta's business operation in Korea and Asia and deliver efficient business models to reduce the burden on content operators, network costs, and ultimately increase benefits to end users. This right there, all of this ties in with that. So maybe LGU Plus is going to be utilizing the Theta network and enabling things with Disney Plus. We'll have to wait and see. But all the little breadcrumbs are right there. I'll post links in the description as well. Very, very bullish for the future going forward, especially, maybe not here in America, but on the other side of the table in the other parts of the world. Awesome to see that progression is being made, even with the ISPs pushing back so strongly. Alright everyone, that's unfortunately all the time I have for the evening. So if you have any questions, comments, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's make it to T-Fuel Island. Carry on the dream, my friends. Have a good rest of your evening. Take care.